Hello everyone, I'm Zain Mohammed Abdul Haq. So today we're reading Chapter 1 of Biology of Class-10th SSC. So in the last classes we read the black pepper experiment and we also read about the hydrilla experiment. So now let us read about chlorophyll and photosynthesis. Ingenhousz wanted to find out more about photosynthesis and carried out several other experiments. So who was Ingenhousz? Ingenhousz was the one who discovered that light was needed for photosynthesis. He proposed that only green parts would carry out photosynthesis. What about plants having colored leaves? Would they perform photosynthesis? Yes, they will. Now, how is it that new leaves which look dark red in color in several plants turn green? Do plants having reddish or yellowish leaves also carry out photosynthesis? Yes, they carry out the process of photosynthesis. What made plants carry out photosynthesis while even green colored animals like some birds, for example a parrot, cannot carry out photosynthesis? Then how could plants carry out photosynthesis? Questions like this remained unchanged challenges until scientists could isolate the green colored substance from plant parts and study its nature. Now let us see these answers. First question, what about the plants having colored leaves? Do they carry out the process of photosynthesis? Plants having colored leaves also carry out the process of photosynthesis by passing on the energy of sunlight trapped in the chlorophyll. And the next question is, how is that leaves which look dark red in color in several parts turn green? Chlorophyll is a definite structure containing different types of pigment molecules organized into pigment systems which are responsible for color change. Now, do plants having reddish yellowish leaves also carry out photosynthesis? Yes, chlorophyll is one among the several other pigments present in the chloroplast. All these pigment molecules, including chlorophyll, are required for photosynthesis. Now let us see what made plants carry out photosynthesis while even green colored animals, some animals which are green colored like some birds, could not. Chlorophyll and other pigment molecules trap solar energy and convert it into chemical energy. But animals having green color cannot trap solar energy and cannot perform photosynthesis because they don't have chlorophyll. So photosynthesis is possible only in plants but not in animals which contain green color pigment called chlorophyll. The establishment of Ingenhousz's proposition came after several experiments till the mid-20th century, when scientists could also locate the site of photosynthesis and even isolate it. Around 4 decades after Ingenhousz's proposition, scientists could only isolate the green substance to observe its nature and find out whether photosynthesis could be carried out with it. This had become possible in the year 1817 due to the work of two scientists, who were Pelletier and Caventou, who obtained an extract of green-colored substance and named it chlorophyll after the meaning green leaf. It was also found that pigments other than green color could also aid in the process of photosynthesis by passing on the energy of sunlight trapped by them to chlorophyll. But where is chlorophyll and another pigment present in the plant? It is actually located inside the chloroplast of the plant cell. All plants have the green colored pigment called chlorophyll. Some can even have different colored pigments which carry out the process of photosynthesis. For example, carotenoid. It has an orange colored pigment. These leaves also contain the green colored pigment called chlorophyll, but they are less in number. That is why the pigment which is more in majority, that is the color of the leaf. And sometimes some leaves, like orange leaves for example, contain only carotenoid and no other pigments. So these pigments, what is the job of the pigments is that they collect light. It doesn't matter if it's chlorophyll, carotenoid, anthracene, xanthophyll, they all capture light and then they help in the process of photosynthesis. There are also several other colored pigments, for example purple, etc. These are present in the chloroplast and help in the process of photosynthesis by capturing light. We must always remember that chlorophyll is one among the other pigments present in chloroplast. All these pigment molecules, including chlorophyll, are required for photosynthesis. These different molecules are arranged in a specific manner, facilitating the process of photosynthesis. The reddish leaves of the plants can also carry out photosynthesis. Now let us see the process of photosynthesis step by step from the beginning. Here we can see the roots of the plants. We can see that the roots help in absorbing the minerals and water from the soil, and they transport it through the stem to the leaves, which goes through the xylem, which helps in transportation of water, and then the chlorophyll in green plants absorbs the light energy. It's not important that we always need sunlight energy. We only need light energy. And then photosynthesis occurs in the leaves. We have large surface area for trapping light. Now let us take a look at the transfer section of a leaf. A leaf is bounded on both sides by a lower and upper epidermis. It is covered on both upper and lower epidermis by a wax-like coating called cuticle. Below the upper epidermis is the palisade parenchyma, which are closely packed to each other, inside which the chloroplast is present. This chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which helps in the trapping of light energy. And below these are spongy parenchyma. Parenchyma have irregular cells with intercellular spaces. In the center of the leaf, a midvein is present. This midvein consists of xylem towards the upper epidermis and phylum towards the lower epidermis. The xylem helps for transport of water throughout the leaf. On the lower epidermis is a large number of tiny openings called stomata, which are present. The opening of stomata is called stoma. Each stoma is covered by kidney-shaped guard cells. Transpiration and gaseous exchange process is controlled by the stomata and present on the lower epidermis. This helps in the gaseous exchange and also in the process of transpiration. Now this CO2 and water taken in by the leaf goes into the parenchyma of the leaf, where they are slowly absorbed by the chloroplast present in the parenchyma of the leaf. Here, the chlorophyll present inside the chloroplast absorbs the sunlight for energy. The process of photosynthesis occurs in two phases. There are light reaction and dark reaction. After the process of photosynthesis, oxygen, glucose and some H2O, which is water, are produced. This glucose goes towards the phylum, which gets transported throughout the leaf, and the oxygen is released by the stomata into the atmosphere. The oxygen liberated by this process is used for respiration by animals and humans. The glucose is transported through the phylum. The glucose is used to perform all biological activities, and the extra glucose is stored in the form of starch. So today we read about the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. We read about the transfer section of leaf, and we read about all the parts present in the leaf. In the next class we will learn about the transfer section of chloroplast and light dependent reaction and light independent reaction in the mechanism of photosynthesis. See you in the next video.